You stopped expecting things from people, and suddenly you feel lighter, like something heavy finally let go. But here's what most people don't understand. This isn't about becoming negative. This isn't about giving up on life. There's something deeper happening here, something your mind is doing to protect you. And psychology explains exactly why this happens after 50. Before we continue, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Let's go. Most people think losing expectations means you've become bitter, that you don't care anymore, that life wore you down. But that's the surface. That's what it looks like from the outside. The truth is completely different. And it starts with understanding what expectations really do to your brain. Think about this. When you were younger, you expected your friends to remember your birthday. You expected your children to call more often. You expected people to keep their promises. And every time someone didn't meet that expectation, something happened inside you. A small crack. A little disappointment, one after another, year after year. Now here's where it gets interesting. Your mind started keeping score, not consciously, but deep in your psychology. Every broken promise, every forgotten call, every time someone said they'd do something and didn't, your brain was recording all of it. Pay attention to this, because this is where the pattern starts to shift. After 50, something changes. You're not the same person you were at 30. You've been through things. You've seen patterns repeat. You've watched people do the same things over and over. And your mind makes a decision, a protective decision. It says, if I don't expect anything, I can't be disappointed. This isn't giving up. This is adaptation. This is your psychology creating a shield. Let me show you how this plays out in real life. You invite someone over for dinner. In the past, you'd spend days excited about it, planning everything, imagining how nice it will be. But now, you prepare the dinner without that emotional investment. You don't build it up in your head. And here's what happens. If they cancel, you're fine. If they come, you're pleasantly surprised. You've removed the emotional risk. This is more common than people realize. Or think about this scenario. Your adult child says they'll visit this weekend. In your 30s or 40s, you would have cleaned the whole house, bought their favorite foods, canceled other plans. But now, after 50, you think differently. You prepare lightly. You don't rearrange your entire week. You keep your options open. And if they don't show up, you're not devastated. You're protected. See the pattern? This isn't coldness. This isn't being uncaring. This is psychological defense. This is wisdom dressed as detachment. Now here's the part that almost nobody talks about. There's a detail here that changes everything. When you lose expectations, you're not losing hope. You're losing the attachment to a specific outcome. And that's completely different. Let me explain. Hope says, I wish good things will happen. Expectation says, this specific thing must happen or I'll be hurt. After 50, your mind learns to separate these two. You can still hope your friend calls, but you don't expect them to call at exactly 7 p.m. on Tuesday. You can still hope your family appreciates you, but you don't expect them to show it in the exact way you imagined. This is emotional flexibility. This is psychological maturity, and it only comes with experience. Think about your younger years. When someone disappointed you, it could ruin your whole week. You'd replay it in your mind. How could they do that? I would never treat someone that way. What's wrong with people? But now, when someone disappoints you, something different happens. You notice it, you acknowledge it, and then you move on. Not because you don't care, but because you've learned that holding on to disappointment costs more than letting it go. This is survival psychology. This is your mind choosing peace over pain. Here's another real example. You lend someone money. In your younger years, you'd expect them to pay you back on time. You'd count on it. You'd plan around it. And when they didn't pay you back, it would create stress, resentment, broken trust. But after 50, if you lend money, you've already decided in your mind that it might not come back. You've adjusted your expectations before the situation even unfolds. This isn't pessimism. This is reality-based thinking. This is protection. Now watch this. Because behind this behavior, there's a psychological pattern that changes everything. Your brain has learned something powerful. It learned that expectations create emotional debt. Every time you expect something, you're making an emotional investment. And when that investment doesn't pay off, you lose emotional energy. After decades of these losses, your psychology adapts. It says, let's stop investing so heavily. Let's keep some energy for ourselves. This is self-preservation. This is psychological efficiency. And it's not weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. Think about it this way. When you were younger, you gave your energy freely to everyone. Without boundaries, you expected people to reciprocate, to match your effort, to care as much as you did. But life taught you that not everyone will, not everyone can, not everyone wants to, and that's okay. So your mind created a new strategy. Give without expecting return. Show up without demanding recognition. Care without needing it to be reciprocated. This is freedom. This is what losing expectations actually means. It means you're no longer controlled by other people's actions. You're no longer waiting for validation. You're no longer dependent on specific outcomes to feel okay. You've become emotionally independent. And here's the beautiful part. When you stop expecting things from people, something magical happens. The disappointments decrease, not because people changed, but because your relationship with disappointment changed. You're not giving disappointment the power it used to have. You're not letting it define your emotional state. You're choosing peace over being right. You're choosing calm over control. This is what Carl Jung called individuation. Becoming fully yourself, independent from external validation, free from the need for others to behave a certain way. Let me give you one more example. You organize a family gathering. In the past, you'd stress about every detail, worried about what people would think, expecting everyone to appreciate your effort, expecting everyone to get along. Now, you organize it differently. You do your best. You create a nice environment. But you're not attached to how people respond. If they argue, that's on them. If they don't appreciate it, that's okay. You did your part, and that's enough. This is psychological freedom. This is what happens when expectations no longer run your life. You become more present, more grounded, more at peace. Because you're not constantly measuring reality against your expectations. You're accepting reality as it is and working with it, not against it. So here's what this really means. Losing expectations after 50 isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming wise. It's about protecting your emotional energy. It's about choosing peace over disappointment. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of should. People should call more. They should appreciate you. They should keep their word. But when you live in should, you live in constant frustration. When you release should, you start living in is. And is where peace lives. This is the psychology of emotional maturity. This is the defense mechanism that actually heals. Because it's not about shutting people out. It's about letting life flow without resistance. It's about loving people without demanding they be different. It's about giving without keeping score. This is liberation. If this resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, has this happened to you, or have you noticed this in someone close to you? Because here's the thing. Most people won't understand this shift until they experience it themselves. But once you do, you'll never go back. You'll wonder why you spent so many years expecting things that only brought you pain. And you'll realize that losing expectations wasn't loss at all. It was gain. Gain of peace. Gain of freedom. Gain of emotional independence. But there's one behavior that becomes even stronger after this shift happens. A behavior that appears when you've truly let go of expectations. And almost nobody recognizes it when it's happening. We'll explore that in the next video.